Hello, everybody. Yes. So we're back. We're live. No one's watching. That's cool. Let me just bring that up. We got some chat in there if you want to have a chat with us. Probably got to put it down here. That'll do. So, yeah, welcome back to Trash Panda Live. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about the delay. I would like to be starting the stream at about 8 o'clock, but um, I was working today. Ooh, Ryan wants to have a look. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Uh, Culture live stream, copy video URL. Yeah, I can. Hold on a minute. Got live peoples. Boo. Hopefully that's working. I don't know. Yeah, got to be all hostage. Host the thing. Yeah. There we go. See? Hold on. Can I do that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here, can you hear me? Everybody give a shout out. So yeah, hello hindsight. It doesn't tell you how many people I don't think are listening. Let's no. I've got very little. If you don't say anything, I can't tell. Ah, yes, cool. So yeah, welcome to Trash Panda. So we can play games, we can just chat. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna have a smoke because I haven't been in from work for long. It felt like a long day, to be honest. He's like, look, I'm like a Cockney, what do you call it? Cockney raccoon, which is entirely apt, even though we don't have raccoons in this country, even though they're in Europe. So, who knows? It's not really a raccoon, though, is it? It should be grey with a mask. And hello to Arcane Ryan. Nice to see you in the chat. Yeah, so this is something to do on Tuesdays, and it's on Tuesdays because that's when Ryan isn't streaming on his Twitch channel. And I'm usually off on Tuesdays, except not today because of the implosion of the British political system, causing all sorts of strikes that may well lead to a general strike, which we haven't had in 97 years. And I know that because I watched a documentary on the general strike. So, yeah. So the panda is now responding a little bit better. Well, not the panda, the raccoon is responding a little bit better. It's not nearly as good as some of Ryan's avatars, but I only spent 5 minutes trying to sort it out, really. I just had to play with it. So I'm in my broadcasting studio from which we also do Sonic Sunday. Do, 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 do. I can't see any of this. Yeah, I am using Face Rig. Is that going to work? Is that going to work? Yeah. It's, yeah, exactly that. I'm pirating Face Rig while I try this out. I'm not becoming a VTuber or anything. I just wanted an alternative. And I wanted an option for when I don't feel like shaving. So, yeah. This is very cool. How is everybody today? Yes. I've got to wait for the lag of the chat and the thing. What if I pull this up? I can get rid of that. I can almost get rid of that. There we go. Oh, no. Well, that will do. Yeah, well, you know, when I did streaming, I always felt like I should sort of like, at least tidy myself up again because I am a scruffy bastard. There we go. I did see you doing live, but it was mostly lurkage. And then I got an early night because I was tired. But yeah. I am using Windows because certain things only run in Windows. And I think Face Rig is one of them. You can only use Windows or Face Rig on Windows. It just doesn't work in any version of Linux. It, it took me about 45 minutes to find that out. But yeah, I'm sitting here with my setup. I've got like a webcam right in front of me with googly eyes on it. Yeah, I went on a deep rabbit hole dive to see if you could get FaceRig to run on Linux, and the answer is no. Something to do with the mocap on the webcam, and they did that usual thing. Oh, we'll see what the interest is and we'll try and solve the problems, which means they're not going to do it. And you don't want to get FaceRig from Steam, because the Steam version is super limited. You can use it, not broadcast with it, use it for 90 minutes and then it craps you out. So this is the desktop version of FaceRig. And I'm using a window capture, and I'm still deciding whether I want to do it or not. It's just the limitations are kind of horrific. And for what you get, I might have to move on to some sort of other avatar software. So yeah, but I thought this was fun, and it was quick. It was quick to implement. So I've basically got a non-streaming window of FaceRig, green screened into a composite window on the thing in the frame with the culture cog and the sound bars. So that's why there's a bit of a green outline. I can make it less green, but it then makes the raccoon transparent. Yeah, it's on Steam, but it's hugely limited unless you pay for it. So yeah, if I end up using it, say for the next 5 streams, I will give them money. If I decide to go with something else, or I can find something else, I will create my own avatar and then just have it, I don't know, puppet set up. But just wanted a raccoon. So yeah, it's quite effective. It does look like me when you know, I don't know. And it's kind of how I feel. It's not a fursona or anything. It's just a thing. In fact, I should probably ping Harlequin. Yeah. So yes. Yep. So yeah, it would be on Linux if I could get it to work on Linux. Everything else kind of works. Don't get the Steam version. Get the desktop version from FaceRig, and then it will just work. But if you get the Steam version, you can only play with it for an hour and a half before it then locks you out completely. But it's remembered my settings, so that's quite good. So yeah, I haven't done anything this week. It's been 7 days where I've been working. So last Wednesday, I worked every day up until and including today. So I haven't had time to put together any VT, but this would be the place where I would premiere new YouTube videos. I tried it running through Wine, and it didn't want to play. It properly doesn't want to play with, I think, the USB bulk loader in all forms of Linux. So if you run anything to USB, it uses very different drivers than Windows uses. And that's the thing. It has to, the FaceRig thing actually projects like a whole series of dots on you, like motion capture, when it calibrates. And if it can't do that, it won't work. It doesn't even launch, to be honest, in thing. So yeah, I've got Wine, and I think I've also got, is it Ludus? Which is a games playing piece of software, and it wouldn't run through that. It just did not like it. So Ryan, how did your stream go? Oh, he's going to run and get food. Lutris, that's it. So yeah, it's been a week. And some nights I've got home early, but I just haven't had the energy when I got in. If I just stood around at work, that'd probably work. I'd probably have the energy after work if I just stood around all day, but that just makes the shift take forever. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else will turn up, but it's nice to hang out. It's something to do on Tuesday, as you can see at the top of the screen. Up there. Trash Panda. Yeah. How did you has your promotion been formalised as yet? Because that was sounding positive. It's a lag. All right. Oh well, you can keep working towards it. I'm pretty sure they won't want to lose somebody that actually does their job. I've found that's generally all you need to do. Do your job, and maybe a little bit more. And occasionally it gets noticed. Sometimes it gets taken advantage of, but you know, the trick is to amuse yourself in what you do. Oh, and hindsight. Amusingly, when I was walking to work, I was having a bit of a finding things day, and I found a lightning cable, which is something you've been looking for in abandoned, well, unoccupied apartments. So when I saw that, I thought it was pretty amazing. It's an anchor one as well. Maybe I should just post you one. Just put it in a jiffy bag and zip it off to the States. Nice. Oh, you did find some. They're the most abandoned things. I find USB-C cables and lightning cables all the time. It's an Apple thing. Apple people, the sort of person that will own an Apple phone is kind of, can't be bothered to learn anything or secure their gear. So you find a lot of Apple stuff. I think I've got about half a dozen lightning cables. So I'm glad you found one. And I definitely want to see if you. It would just be the weirdest thing, just watching you stop motion clearing apartments. All right. Well, that's not after 17 hours. I don't think that's really ending early. Huh. And I've got a question for both of you. Since you both kind of watch the channel, I'm thinking of doing super cheap astronomical photography. So I think I figured out a way to get hold of a cheap telescope, and it doesn't seem all that hard. But is that something you'd want to see? Because it's kind of like I'm going to do it with a second-hand telescope, so I can take the stuff I've already got and add 50 quid to it, and basically do some pictures of planets and stuff like that, and how you go about it. Mm. See, when I was a kid, it's another thing. It's all childhood trauma of not being able to do things. And I remember feeling in filmmaking and sound recording and musical instruments and telescopes and stuff like that. There's a few spots near me that I think I could make it work as long as the stuff isn't too close to the horizon. So it might wait. It might need to wait on things being available, and it might be really grainy, rubbishy footage. But there is a best beginner's telescope, and there's quite a few of those on the second-hand market. And I've got a line on a reflector telescope, but that might take a little longer to get sorted out. And I am super slapdash and not super prepared, so it might be lots of pictures of the moon and the stars and stuff like that, or video of it, because most telescopes you can fit a mobile phone to. So you can use I could use like the iPhone camera, which is like really high pixels, and we might get something worth having. But it's certainly worth going out on a clear night with 50 quid's worth of telescope and having a pop at it. So yeah. So I thought that would be a fun thing to see me attempt. Yeah. It looks interesting, but like a lot of these things, we have got. I mean, one of the oldest societies, what do you call it, an academic societies in the world that's still running. Yeah, pretty much. So, but it'd be really fun if I could split it into something. I mean, a GoPro's good, but it doesn't have a big screen like a smartphone. And I can 3D print a smartphone mount for a standard camera mount. They're called T1 mounts. So yeah. So I'll give that a go. I won't. The auctions, I've got like 3 auctions I'm watching end on Saturday and Sunday. So it might be a Tuesday thing if it's a clear night. I don't know if there's going to be any clear weather over Manchester where I'll be able to like have a shot at something, or if there'll be anything to see. That requires a bit more research, but I might take it out anyway if there's a moon out and do some initial moon images because you can't miss the moon. And these things have got like 200 times zooms and shit, or the equivalent of a zoom camera lens. So I might take a camera out with my 300mm zoom lens and compare it to the shots that I can get on the camera because the telescope is basically a massive zoom lens. You can even mount a DSLR into the side of them if they're heavy enough, if you've got a solid enough telescope. So yeah, that might be a recurring thing if the weather's right and I can get out. So yeah. But it's a nighttime thing, so I could theoretically do it after work. So yeah. But I've got a GoPro, I've got a Firefly action camera, I've got various tripods and all the doobry stuff. All right, you got a power supply. Yeah. So what Nikon camera are you using? Because yeah, I've got a Canon 600D. All right, yeah, that's a pretty damn good Nikon camera. I went Canon purely because I do more filmmaking than stills photography, and Canon cameras have the Magic Lantern option, which is a third-party operating system that gives you all lots of extra toys to play around with. So I got totally hooked on that. And I've got an EOS M, which is their little camera that nobody liked, but I really like it. So yeah, I can also run an HDMI out of the camera if I get it set up right. Hopefully to I've got a weird. It's so weird. I've never done a video on it. That's strange, isn't it? I've got a thing called it was a type of Motorola phone that had a whole laptop docking station. What was it called? It's called a lap dock. So you plugged your Motorola mobile phone into it, and it had an HDMI and a USB out, and it gave uh, the mobile phone a big 12-inch screen, a keyboard, speakers, a headphone jack, and a bunch of USB ports. Hey, Juva, how's it going? That's 3 people, 3 whole people. See, this is why I'm streaming on YouTube. On Twitch, it would take a while to get up to that 3 people, and it would be impossible to hang on to them. So yeah, we're here. I probably should ping Kevin. Should we ping Kevin? Do, 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 do. Let's ping some people. Ping that person. A ping of Agdu. Let's bother some people. In full bothering people mode. Do 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 do. Do. Bother the people. I'm just bothering people now. Let's bother Miles as well. Yeah. So yeah, I've just bothered some people, just prodded them. Yeah. So how are you, Juva? Yeah. So I don't bother you anymore. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing on a Tuesday night. Oh. So yeah, who knows? That's still working. Oh, look at that. It's cocked it up. There we go. There's the live chat. Excellent. Are you feeling better now? Because you were ill last week. You were recovering from being ill. Oh, nice. Best place to be. Spam the link to the live. What it uh, is that? Yeah, I've spammed it. I've spammed it as much as I can. I think. Do do do. All right. Yeah. Some of those old hatchets are much better made. And in America, it'll be ideally a hickory handle. So yeah, do that. Just take some wire wool to the thing. It's a lump of iron. I mean, an axe is one of those things that's in. Oh yeah, just got a cough. An axe is one of those things that survives everything just because of its shape. They're still finding stone axes from like 10,000 years ago and shit. So axes are cool. So yeah. So has anybody got any super adventures or things that they've come across? I mean, so the alternative or hindsight is in the lead at the moment because he's found an axe and a bunch of lightning cables for an iPhone that he also found. Although, to be fair, hindsight's in a target rich environment just because of his job. So has anybody found or restored or tagged something in a trash pandery way? That's what I want to know. Society is one big trash heap and it keeps throwing away loads of useful stuff. And it all went quiet. Yeah, I think doing radio has given me a bit of a problem. I can't be broadcasting and be quiet. It's a case of you've got to talk continuously until somebody else says anything, and then you riff on that, and then you carry on. Nice. Fixed a watch. Oh, do tell us hindsight. I mean, I tend to buy mostly secondhand stuff. I think the only thing I bought this week was probably a game. So I got hold of Deus Ex, the new one. So I got that for £1. That was a bit of a find. I didn't really find a lot. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I just went through a whole stage of finding stuff. Found a nifty little rechargeable flashlight. Found loads of cables for things. It's all just lying around there. So yeah, but fixing a watch, was it a digital watch or a mechanical watch? Because those have mechanical watches have an entirely different form of magic smoke. Once the springs escape, that's it. But it looks like hindsight's like totally managing it. It's definitely time for a smoke. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Hey! Hey, Peonia. Extension cords galore. Yeah. Toolboxes. That's somebody moving out in a hurry. Or, again, hand tools, spanners, ratchets, hammers, all non-power tools are really underregarded. As is fishing equipment. People just get rid of it. So, Pony, to fill you in, we're currently talking about being trash pandas. Oh, you put in a new movement. Wow. So you found like, was it? It must have been a common watch, like a Casio or something like that. Power drill. I bet the batteries were fried though. But yeah. That's doing that. Just doing a little double check and get a bit of a, yeah, so it's all actually working. So yeah, so society just throws shit away. All right. Yeah, yeah, I mean, you could find that it will power up. I don't know if there's such a thing as a universal battery charger for power tools. Is it a battery one or a corded power drill? Because you've got a lot better chance with a corded power drill. The battery ones are the ones that die, especially Black and Decker. I mean, they used to make out that it was Svalbard. Yeah, right. Battery packed. So a Svalbard watch, and then nice. I don't know much about Svalbard as a brand. Not seen one. See, what we really need in the team is somebody that works airport security, because those guys get hold of so many multi tools. It's not true. Multi tools and Swiss Army knives, and then we can do some bartering with someone like that. So if you know anybody that works at an airport in security, that's your amazing. That's a cornucopia of multi tools and knives. And I love me a good multi tool. I've got my eye on one. The Swiss Army Craft. Is it the Chris? It's the Handyman. It's just got everything, everything I want: scissors, pliers, file, all the usual Swiss Army stuff. A chisel. Just yeah, it's it's about as thick a Swiss Army knife as you can get without it being the Champ, which is about 3 inches wide and therefore unusable for all intents and purposes. And as far as I'm aware, they're kind of legal in the UK. You probably get some people asking questions, and I wouldn't take it into an office building or on a flight, but they're pretty much legal everywhere else. Because, yeah, knife crime's a thing. Because we haven't got gun crime. I don't even know how little that's worth. It's probably worth less than a cent. Nice. Frameable, though. I think Kevin is a Geek had a $1 million Rwandan note, which is kind of ironic now because that's where they're trying to ship off illegal immigrants to from here because our governments are dicks. But yeah. Yeah. Apparently it's not that hard in Rwanda after their currency collapsed. I think it's been propped up now. I think they've taken those out of circulation. So that's a collector's item in a way, if somebody were going to collect it. I mean, I had a brief look at the sort of people that buy storage units in America, and yeah, it's interesting, but ultimately, once you've watched one or two, you've watched them all, really. Yeah, I've got big hopes for Scotland, though. Scotland might well sort itself out, but it shows you how there was recently a trans rights bill put through that passed in the Scottish government that then the British government had a chance to overturn. And I think they're in the process of trying to do that. So that was a dick move because mainly because the trans community is the last bunch of demonizable people of any number that can be hurt by legislation and stuff. And the Tory party have nothing apart from this idea of a culture war, which most people don't give a toss about. And also, I want a Scottish passport. If Scotland gets its independence, I think it's time to move. Time to head up north to reality land. And that's what I'd do if I was Scotland. If I went independent, it would just be like, right, sort some houses out. We need like a lot of blocks of flats and shit like that. We need to start inviting people. Let's do a bit of a brain drain to Scotland, or at least a people drain. Did you hear about the EU bill that's trying to get pasted about computer programs and programmers? I think I need more information than that, but no, I don't think I've heard anything about specifically about. Yeah, that's right. No power as long as Westminster's got its hooks in, but that's like the story of Scotland basically for the last 700 years. Yeah. I might have to go and look it up. I have to go and look it up online. Boop. Just going to take out the chat. Not necessarily. I can do this. That's that. Right. Oh, that I don't think that's a very good idea. Here we go. Oh, it's the gatekeeper bill. Yeah. Oh, I think it's to stop companies charging for software then not supporting it. Does it? Let's. Can I stop it? Oh, that's unfortunate. It is down as not for kids. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's doop. Give me a minute. It's very weird. Uh, uh, hello, Andy. Good to see you, man. Oh, this is weird. How many people we got in now? One, two, three, four, five? Five people in? Cool. Da, 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 da. Stream settings. No, I'm trying to find out. We should be able to like swear and shit. That's silly. Excellent. I can't do anything about it at the moment, but I will. Oh, okay. Community moderation. Do do do. Give me a minute. General channel community. Blocked words. This has got to be it. All channels. Oh. No, it's I can't do it while I'm on the stream. So sorry about that. It's yeah, it's not going to let you swear. Yeah, it's not going to let you swear. So there we go. Can't do anything about it. I am sorry. But we'll look into it. Yeah. Users. No, I can't. I just can't change any of those settings. God damn it. It didn't occur to me. I mean, we could open up the Discord and add the Discord audio. I think. Is Kev still working security in that then? Has he just got day shifts for a bit? Oh, it's dead air. Yeah, definitely. If you're going to restore hickory or Danish oil. Oh, right, that sounds cool. Working at a data center, that sounds fantastic. You're gonna hear this because it's just gonna come through. So you're gonna hear the kettle boiling. Just gonna add some hot water to my juice. That's all working. Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, you don't want to be a security guard in a public facing role. That looks like it sucks donkey balls. I wouldn't want to do it at all. That would make me not want to be a security guard. I can't bear the general public as it is. I've got an allergy to gormlessness. Well, I can do a soundboard. That's doable. Maybe not on this stream, but yeah, I've definitely done it before when I was streaming onto Twitch. See, I didn't take advantage of that situation because it was all quotes from aliens and things like that. Yep, the security dream when there's a lot of security between you and the people you've got to keep shit secure from. So yeah. Ideally, you want somewhere very boring with nothing in it that anybody wants to steal. But the... All right. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Republic. And I have to see them all the time, really. Well, throughout the day. It's got to be the kind of fart where you're just not sure. And you're just waiting for a polite moment to excuse yourself and go check. I am getting old now. I'm 52 now. Elderly. Well, that's English comedy for you. It's all double entendres and dick and fart jokes. Well, I am elderly, yeah. You should see, my hair's like super grey. And the only way of not making it look super grey is to cut it so short I look like a furious thumb. You know, like a giant thumb, or, you know, between a set of shoulder blades. Yeah. You can write on a blackboard. And I should have tidied up the studio. And less of your cheek, you whippersnappers. I'll start shouting at a cloud. So you're an Aquarius as well. That would explain the multiple interests. Like it means anything. Yeah. My dad spent years and years and years trying to make sense of astrology, and after about 3 or 4 years, he just gave up and just went, "No, it's all bollocks." Well, that's how you know how to avoid someone. They ask you what your star sign is. Yeah, there's video of that online. It's easy enough to find. I think it's on the Rangers channel. You're never that old, Pioneer. That's a mortgage and dinner parties age. So, has anybody seen the new TV series Three Body Problem? You'll need match in China next. And a guest room. It's not on television, it's on YouTube. I don't have I haven't had a television since the early 2000s. No, not right now. However, the housing market could well collapse. House prices are set to drop by 20%, so hang fire for a little bit. And yeah, they're going to have to bring down the mortgage interest costs. After that dizzy tart killed our economy just by announcing shit. Yeah, that's exactly what you should use it for. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, I mean there should be some cheap property kicking around soon. I mean, if you don't give a shit and you're prepared to do like major sort of like rough plastering work, there's quite a lot of like weird little areas in Manchester and that. If I ever get my hands on like 20 grand, I'm just going to buy somewhere cash. Because some of the houses out there, like little two up, two downs, which would be fine for me, are like really cheap out in places like Burnley and other places in Lancashire and Cheshire. What? Sorry, my cat's bothering me. What? Come on. I'm being given hassle by the cat. Yeah, unfortunately, they only sort of tank the economy when it benefits them. Come on, then. Come on. Okay, settle down. Settle down, tiny cat. Ah. Yeah. I'd have thought where you are, there should be loads of like little two up, two down places that you can get for nuppence. See, Gary and Jason managed to get their place. And my ex-wife is in your neck of the woods, nearly. If you've ever heard of a place called Banff. All right. Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah. So my ex-wife is moving to Banff, which if you look it up, you'll see that it's there's a bit south of Aberdeen that looks like a shark's tooth has been bitten out of Scotland, and it's on the south coast of that. It looks dreadfully cold. So yeah, they bought a fixer-upper out there. It looks like it's going to be freezing and remote. It's Scotland's weird. If you're not in one of the cities, uh, and you go north, civilization just basically ends. It's farmland and sheep fells and all that sort of thing. It if you want to be connected to anything, it's a real hard time. Yeah, that should change. At least by the housing, the major banks have said that there looks to be a housing crash of about 20% as our economy contracts. That's even £80,000 is just too much for a roof over your head. Yeah. So yeah, so just in the gap of people talking. Oh, here we go. -21. That's insanity. But you are in the cold bit. I don't know if you want to mention what state you're in. I don't want to out you as to where you're living. But yeah, you are in the cold bit. It's famous for being cold. I mean, what? I've got a thermometer in the studio, so it's 10 Celsius in here. Northern Minnesota. Just got to put the northern bit in there. The cold bit of Minnesota, which is also cold. So yeah. Fargo territory. What do you look like? Kind of funny looking. But yeah. Yeah, it is an interesting looking part of the world. But, I mean, that's nippy. That's not like holy shit, people are going to die in Minnesota. That's like, oh, better put a hat on for there. It's one of the reasons why there's a lot of Scandinavian people out there because they got to that bit and went, oh, this is like home. Oh, so the wind really gets in there. Yeah. So yeah, this is all very jolly. I'm enjoying the stream. It's cool. I think I had some stream information. Uh, do if I go back. If I go back from there, can't go back from there. I've got analytics. Oh, it seemed like it totally dropped out. Got two people in here at the moment. I don't know. Peaked at like 4, and then everybody had better things to do. Yeah, I bet it really drops the temperature down really quite amazingly. Oh, yeah, so there's you three in here. Andy's gone. What's it looking like? Oh, there's a there we go. I think have I taken it out? Yeah, I've cocked it up. There we go. But it should be fourth. Peonia, Hindsight, Ryan, Andy. I think that's everybody. So it's got to be it's 4 plus me. So that's getting on for my best streaming ever. So who's managed to acquire things or swipe stuff or rebuild stuff? I mean, Juva's managed to fix a watch. Hindsight's sorted out a new axe and some lightning cables. Ryan is so unbelievably wealthy from his stream income that he doesn't need to buy anything new. What about you, Andy or Pioneer? Oh, I did liberate a stand for my tablet, which runs all the buttons for this thing. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know how YouTube calculates its analytics. That analytic might be from an hour ago. So as an alternative to being at the pub. So yeah, so they weren't using this tablet stand at work, and I found it in a darkened corner of the storeroom, and I thought I shall borrow that until somebody complains that it's missing, in true Trash Panda style. But it's a really heavy duty thing. It's like this steel tablet stand. So yes, you got to tag this stuff, otherwise it will just get thrown away or end up in landfill. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get into some astronomical photography. Are you being filtered out, Andy? Are you saying, are you using swear words? I can't figure out how to switch that off. Yeah, there we go. I killed a. Got to get on, make a stand for a Cintiq. I killed a homeless Scotsman. That's the most dangerous kind of homeless person. You got there in the end. I think you've watched too much Frankie Boyle. Cintiq. Let's have a look. I'm going to kill the chat in the live stream. Watch me do this. With a brick. Ooh. So you got like a nice graphics tablet. Oh, right. Yeah. See, when Iron Angel finds a snowblower, it means that he's trying to weaponize it in some way. Yeah, it's fancy. A screen drawer. Ooh. I did manage to get a an XP pen dumb tablet. For a quid. I managed to get it for a quid on eBay because somebody listed it wrong. Are you still using the one that you had when I saw it? But that's still a pretty fancy piece of kit. And yeah, you can't prove anything Iron Angel does. He's just, you know, it's like a Bigfoot sighting. Just a man came and turned my Zamboni into a tank. Can you describe him? He was kind of Yeti looking. Yeah. So yeah, I did get myself a graphics tablet. I've not managed to get the hand-eye coordination required to draw anything good, but I will be using it at some point, and I will do a video on it. I got an even weirder writing stroke graphics tablet that I also need to do a review of again. Yeah. So yeah, I went down the rabbit hole on tablets, and yeah, a lot of people actually use an iPad, but it's the Apple infrastructure that's horrible. I'd rather spend slightly less on something that did only a few things than get an iPad. I'd rather buy a Cintiq or something like that, or a Wacom pen display. Oh, Andy, do tell. Um, I've got an embarrassingly shit RCA tablet. Oh, you can't tell. Ah, all right, fair enough. No, that should be good. How did the comic book that you illustrated, the one about stepping through doorways, sell in the end? Nice. Yeah, graphics tablets are a thing. You either get a dumb one that's just a big slab of plastic, or a smarter one that's actually got a screen, so you're actually drawing it. Yeah. Hmm. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I looked at the images online. I didn't actually buy it, which I should have done because I'm a bad friend. Right, I'm going to have to leave you to your own devices for a couple of seconds. I've just got to pop downstairs. Won't be a sec. No, I could have muted the microphone, but I didn't. That's the best kind of art when you get paid. There. Don't look into the eyes. Hypno Raccoon has you now. But yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you got paid. That's the hardest thing about creating stuff. Yeah, it's oh, what's it? It's a thing called Face Rig, which I'm stealing right now. I'm still on the demo. This is the demo mode, which I've applied a green screen to and just patched into OBS. I don't even know what that means. This is because you can't swear. You're getting all sorts of weird. Knock one off through someone's tent flap. Which has to be said, when I lived on a campsite, I did not take advantage of the possibilities of doing that. But I did come up with a wonderful thing. Usually on any campsite, on any given Friday and Saturday night, there is an argument. Hey, Chipco. I'm using, there's, you can have a green background on Face Rig. And you can use OBS to remove the green screen. So yeah. So use OBS, use the chroma key thing to map the window, and then that takes out the background, so it goes to the next background. You've got to stack things pretty carefully in OBS. It's a bit like one of those old-fashioned cardboard puppet theatres. So hello to Chipco. Have the analytics caught up? I wonder if the analytics have caught up. Not that you should ever look at the analytics. No, you shouldn't, because it says concurrent viewers 3, and there's more than that. So yeah, we're just hanging and chatting. This is kind of the point. What would normally happen is I would say, I shot a video this week and we'll premiere it here and then put it on YouTube in a couple of days. So you can watch the stream and watch it first. Oh, cheers, man. That's appreciated. It's yeah. So we had 7 people. Yeah, so if you're on a campsite, there's always an argument. There's always a domestic argument on a Friday and Saturday night, every single time. And in the morning, when they look at you sheepishly, sometimes they'll say, sorry about last night. I got into an argument with the missus. And what you should immediately say is, that's not a problem. I have a soundproof tent. And then when they say, really, you just go, no, of course I don't. But people seem to forget. They see a barrier and they think immediately that it's largely soundproof. And it's amazing. People have some horrific verbal fights that occasionally turn into physical ones. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's rare. I will give you that. But yeah, campsites are bizarre places. I could probably do like a whole show just about all the crazy shit I saw on that campsite. But I think the one that takes the cake is that's just because, I knocked one off through your tent flap, Andy. Yeah. Yeah, we did have a puppet show night where 2 people were having very earnest but quite quiet sex, but they had the light on inside their tent, so it was like a Balinese shadow play, like an X-rated one. Yeah, I've seen people bring 35-inch, 36-inch televisions to a campsite. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, it was pretty cruel. I think they quietly took one of the people to one side the next day and said, look, you got to turn off your light if you're going to shag. But yeah, that's a 5.9 from the German judge. Everybody's got to be patient though, because you've got to make sure it's really over. You got to make sure they're finished. Usually you just wait to see the little spark of a lighter when they're lighting off a post-coital cigarette. Oh man. Yeah, the best one I ever heard was we're just sitting around, and we used to sit like near the fence before you actually went in the campsite, because that's where the warden's teepee was, and we used to sit under a gazebo outside. And somebody came by looking really worried and said, if you've screwed in a gas canister to a stove, is there supposed to be fire coming out before it gets to the stove? And we said, oh Christ, no. Where have you put the stove? And she said, oh, I've put it behind the tent. And we were like, how far behind the tent? Because you need to move it away. That's it. You just got to let it burn out, otherwise it's very dangerous. And then she said, oh right, I'll go and move it. And then we looked over at the campsite, and a crowd had formed, which is really unusual. Like almost everybody on the campsite had gathered together to watch this guy. And when we got a little bit closer, he's beating out trying to beat out the flames on this stove with a stick, which I don't know if you've ever seen pressurized butane, which is Bobby from King of the Hill says is a bastard gas. But pressurized butane, you can't annoy it when it's contained. You can't introduce it to a spark or otherwise shake it, especially when one end of it's on fire. And before we could get to him, he hit it so hard that amazingly it did go bang, and the assembled crowd of people that had brought their children to see this thing jumped in the air about a foot all at once, and the bottom shot off the bottom of the gas canister. And it was just amazing. No one was killed or hit by shrapnel or anything like that. It was amazing. People used to come with us with the most amazing things. But yeah, and would do the most amazing vandalism to the nearby forest in order to get firewood. They'd go and chop down green saplings and try and burn them and shit like that late at night, rather than just going, right, fuck it, I have screwed up fire, it's time to go to bed. They would go off into the woods at night and try and hack up trees and shit. Yeah, I was not only there, the guy that broke and twisted his leg was clambering down the embankment towards the river with a bunch of beers, and was drunk and managed to snap his leg and put himself in a position where he was really difficult to rescue. You couldn't get an ambulance there, so the ambulance guys had to come onto the campsite, stop the ambulance, drive across the campsite in the ambulance really slowly so they didn't cause an extra accident, stop at the next gate that went into woodland, clamber down the escarpment to get to him. It's only about like 20 or 30 feet, but it was like a 45-degree angle. And then they rescued him. However, the next day I bumped into an Australian guy who borrowed one of John's fishing rods to go fishing. And we were talking about that. Aircrafting. Anyway, so we go down, and the Australian guy shows me how to catch trout in a really he was very good at it, and we both caught a couple of trout. And I was going, oh wow, amazing, man, I wish I could get you a beer to say thank you for showing me this, because we're going to eat trout, you know, and you've shown me how to catch a fish, and I did what you said, and I caught a fish. Super. Anyway, when I said I wish I could get you a beer, he decided to go a bit upriver, and I found the beers that the guy that broke his leg had left behind, and it wasn't bad beer. So I didn't say anything to the Australian guy, but I put the beers in the river to cool down, and he was fishing and he was doing all the bit, and he even said crikey when he got a bite, like proper what's his name, the Australian guy that got killed by a stingray. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, so I waited about 20 minutes until the beers were cooled down and just showed up next to him and handed him a can of Stella. And it was like, where'd you get them from? And then I recounted the story. Yeah, Steve Irwin. Yeah. But he had a proper Steve Irwin thing, but he was catching and killing fish. And it was awesome. So he was really surprised. So we did recover those beers, and then we drank them. It was great. No, I don't remember that they twisted it round. Oh shit. No. Oh yeah. There's so many stupid stories that people go camping without any. I mean, if your leg's fucked up, how do you know? Oh dear. Just people are fucking cretins. People would take like their entire house and try and put it inside a tent. I mean, a lot of the time they bring a heater, they bring a television, they bring a radio, all that sort of shit. And you know, if Debbie was, you know, the partner of what the other warden would try and stop them, and then they'd like go no, and they'd sometimes just turn all that shit on all at once, and they'd trip out the electricity for the entire campsite. Fucking hell, yeah. That's probably about the best injury I saw. Lots of burns. Yeah. People just lose all their sanity when they go camping. They're just not equipped for outdoors. I never saw that. Why? Mind you, at EMF, my ex-girlfriend managed to set herself on fire. That's a good story. We're at EMF and Maxine is in the tent. She's got the burner on like a metal tray, so it's like that's pretty good. And the bottom of the burner isn't hot. But I've already told her she's using a meths burner, which doesn't burn very hot, but it's enough to cook bacon and shit. And I've already said, don't ever refill a meths burner until it's properly cooled down. If you run out of fuel, wait, cool it down with some water, and then put more fuel in it and then light it. So we've already had that conversation. And because she's nearly done with the bacon, what she's done is she's just decided to, with the bottle of meths, top up the meths burner. And so obviously the mess that she's holding lights on fire. She spills it in her shock and she's now on fire. And everybody around her is watching this, just like agog. So I'm like a couple of tents away from her and I sort of like leap on her, put out the fire that she started in the tent, and then gone back and sat down because I'm also cooking bacon. And everybody that knew me looked at me like, why didn't you kick off? And I can't remember who it was, came up to me afterwards and said, you were very calm when she set herself on fire. And I just went, I've told her not to do that because it's dangerous. And she's already set herself on fire. There's nothing more I can say. She doesn't want to be on fire. She's now learned. All he could, let's go back. All he could remember at the moment was to wrap himself in a blanket and then get the blanket out of the tent and couldn't. Fuck me. A tent is the worst place to be on fire. Ever. I've had to tell people not to have like lit candles in their tents. And then had to explain how paraffin wax works and stuff like that. It's like you will tip it over, the wax will catch fire, and then your tent will be on fire, and then you'll get smothered in burning nylon, usually. Fuck. Yeah, I never did see a dismemberment, which is amazing, the number of people that brought axes or hatchets to camping. We once chainsawed down a massive tree that had fallen over the path in the woods and had so much wood, and we processed it all, and we just didn't have enough wood. We didn't have enough time to burn it all. Yeah, Biff had a very casual attitude towards personal safety. He was so romantic. He wanted to molest us in the night, but he wanted to do it by candlelight. Yeah, dear. There's not a lot you could have done either. Yeah, Ren Fair, definitely. I bet there's all sorts of. I mean, I've cut myself and burned myself and done stupid shit and been real lucky. I got to be honest. But there is no way you can impart someone's. I don't want to know. That sounds like fire breathers getting out of hand. Well, yeah, I shall breathe fire. Wow. Yeah, a car is also a bad place to be on fire. See, at least there's a kind of a joy to being injured with a jousting lance, especially if you end up in an emergency room. This is a jousting injury. Yeah. And now all I can think of is the scene in Garden State, where the guy that later went on to play Sheldon walks through this guy's just eating Fruit Loops after he has had sex with this older woman, and he's eating these Fruit Loops, and a guy just walks through the house like an ordinary American house in a full suit of armor because he does one of those King Arthur themed restaurants things in the evenings. Fuck's sake, things are bad when you need hot steel. Fuck me. Yeah, because you can bleed out. You must have been like, this is just gonna hurt. There's no there's no candy coat in this. This is gonna be amazingly fucking painful. But you will live, which may not be yeah, which you may not want to, but you know, let's give you that choice. Yeah, all the times I mapped about in reenactment, the ambulance shows up as you're cauterizing it with steel. This is like everybody freezes in the blue flashing lights. We have a good reason. Yeah, you made a medic puke. That's that's draw worthy. Yeah. Well, I just needed to look pretty for you, Andy. It never worked. I tried my best. Look, come on then. Yeah, I bet. Oh, that's total insanity. I bet that's one of those stories that somebody comes and tells you years after the fact. Well, come on then. Uh, yeah, if you do anything suitably mental, then sooner or later somebody will come up and tell you that story or sit round the campfire and say, I did hear tell back in the midst of time that such a thing occurred. And you're like, yep, it was me. A bit like my when I worked in the IT industry, scoring a kill. It's not easy to kill someone in the IT industry, and they wouldn't let me put a little sort of like stick figure man on the side of my monitor. It wasn't me that performed the kill, but I had a hand in it. No, I never wore a corset while I was camping, nor a mankini. Don't ride the bear. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. I don't think I look good in a corset. I don't know. I did I think I went to a Rocky Horror Show theme party once. Yeah, tell us about the bear, Iron Angel, before we get onto dark stories of wearing corsets in the wood. I think at the point where you look like a dog chew, you're not wearing a corset, the corset's wearing you. Oh, nuts. It must be a joy, though, I mean, that's, I think, one of the fun things about the Uncle Dak thing on the old rant stuff is I just think working in an emergency room, coming up with a subtle way or at least a compassionate way of writing down some of those injuries. You know, there's only so many ways you can disguise a light bulb up the bum. That's the worst thing. Worse than chasing a bear, catching up to the bear. Did you overtake the bear and then the bear was chasing you? Then you have to slow down. I did not have sexual relations with that bear. See, I can say that. Nobody else can. It'll get edited out. Well, a lie will get round the world before the truth has got its boots on. You want to go talk to the bear wrangler? I did hear a story about. Yeah, I wish I had a clip of Timothy Dreadwell bit slapping that bear. The bear came back the next summer wearing a gimp suit. I don't know why. I think the bear liked it. The fun time with a bear is when the bear sees you at distance and then just ambles away. That's about as good a bear encounter as you can have. Do they get bears in Minnesota? I mean, it's a bit flat. I don't know. Same places they get the lock picks for the trash bins. They have their own boutique. It's called Dare to Bear or eBay. eBay for all your weird shit needs if you're a bear. Well, then you just haven't been to the right bars. I'd like a bear-sized gimp suit, please. And the man behind the counter goes, you look more like a cub size gimp suit. We'll try not to break the internet. At least my channel's got it's not for kids. So that's a mercy. Yeah. They cater for bears and their cubs. Or you could have rubber cellars, but Cellars. Rubber cellars. With a whole room? Yes. Andy probably looks like Feathers McGraw with a rubber glove on his head. This is my gimp suit. Oh man. I want a rubber seller. What, somebody sells rubbers? No. Once the housing prices drop, yeah. Mind you, a full on dungeon will probably cost you more than a house. Yeah. And that's entirely how you should answer the door to unexpected callers like Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons. If only they made an appointment and you knew when they were coming down, or you could get like a bit of a heads up from the end of the street. There you go. Okay, they're knocking on every door. Got about half an hour. Or in Scotland, it'd probably be even shorter. You've got about 3 minutes with everybody just telling people to fuck off. I got time. You'd have to have like a Batman delivery gimp thing where it just sort of dressed you up like Iron Man with a big robot Waldos putting it all on you. I knew this button would come in handy. Bless. The fundamental problems of religion. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think Whifflet is probably a no-go zone. Huh? Seventh Day Adventists. Okay, so human love solidarity. Am I still walking? Are you still walking? Yeah, I don't think Seventh Day Adventists are like the really the worst people. I just think they got a bad rap after Waco. It's kind of a weird thing, but they all are. There's all these subdivisions of Christianity because the other people aren't righteous enough. So who is human love solidarity? Oh, it's Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be left alone by Jehovah's Witnesses, join, sin, and they disfellowship you. They never speak to you ever again. Night, Andy. You take care. Yeah. Andy's got to go to bed because he's got to get enough sleep before his kids wake up. And they are sleeping, but they're just getting up really friggin' early. He's got twins. That's not a good. There was about 18 months there where he just didn't sleep. I bet it's already dark though in Minnesota. See, I can understand why somebody in Minnesota, 10-minute drive, and that's it. You've got the whole sky. and you can see all the stars. No? Oh, I suppose it didn't get dark here till what, about 5, 6-ish. Yeah. Yeah, ironically, I want to get into astrophotography as the nights are getting lighter. So I'll have to get my finger out and take some photos. Stand in the dark in the middle of a golf course or something. I do not have to step outside to have a smoke. Yeah, well, it'll actually be warm where you are, ish. Into the tens of degrees. Yeah, we get that about here. I mean, the only reason it's not as cold as there is because of the Gulf Stream, which could get switched off at any point. So really, we're pretty lucky with the weather. It doesn't get as cold as like Norway or Canada. Yeah, I know golf courses are horrendous things, which is what? That's about 40, 40 odd Celsius, which is amazing hot. The only time I've ever been even close to that was on the top deck of a double decker bus that a couple of years ago when we had a proper heat wave just before lockdown. It was amazing. It was like 39, 40 Celsius on the top of the bus. And nobody was sitting on the top deck of the bus. And the bus driver actually stopped and came upstairs and goes, "Are you sure you want to sit up here? It's really hot." And I went, "No." I was just like, "This is an unbelievable amount of heat for this country. And I just want to experience it. It's amazing." Oh, yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, that's a pretty big swing because it can get down to about minus 30 Celsius your end. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold as fuck. And then up to all the way up to 40 is insane. In Canada, it can do a 40-degree change in a day. It can be like minus 20 and go to like plus 20 in a single day. Yeah, yeah. I don't even know what minus 60 is in Celsius, which is the only way we can envisage it over here. Well, yeah. Actually, Scotland would be a good place for astrophotography, full stop, really. As soon as you get a bit out into the boonies. Yeah. It's a typical English thing to do. Let's go somewhere where there is nothing and have a holiday. Yeah. Yeah, I think you got over 40 Celsius down in Devon and Cornwall, which is enough. Like half an hour, that's it, sunburn. Like you have to wear sunblock in that sort of weather, really. Otherwise, you'll be in a lot of pain. But yeah, it's really fucking cold. You know, absolutely dangerous to be out cold or dangerous to be out hot. So I think a few people died of heat stroke. Wow. Yeah, I imagine people in Scotland really didn't deal with it being that hot very well outside of on holiday. Yeah, really absolutely dangerous weather. And it's just going to continue. Mm. But, you know, it's when people in this country get surprised. It was really hot. Yes. Climate change is a thing. You know, that's why we need to cool the planet down a little bit. Well, we can't cool it. We've just got to slow it down. It's not going to get any better than this, but, you know, it will get worse if you know, if you don't sort it out. It's kind of important. The only people standing in the way are the super rich and powerful, really. I don't think you could speak to any rural person in America and pretend that climate change was not a thing because they're out there trying to grow crops in it and shit. Stop cows dying and stuff. And horses. Yeah, it's just too fucking hot. At least it's not like Florida hot, where it's hot and wet, because it's meant to be jungle. Yeah. I like it up there. I like Glasgow. That doesn't mean I want to work in a restaurant in Glasgow. It means, you know, yeah, sheep are more um, out where the what do you call it? Navajo parts. Where are the Navajo like in the central Bible Belt states? Yeah, but all the stuff is there. And I find Scottish people refreshingly grumpy, to be honest. You know, like just if you're out in Glasgow, say, I prefer Glasgow to Edinburgh. Wow. Was it an event? That's two different conversations. No war. Yeah. Edinburgh's a lot like Manchester, in which you do get a bunch of fucking crazy people there too. I mean, if you could telecommute, Oburn's nice. But I don't think that would be enough for me. I'd like to be on one of those islands where there's like a dozen people and one corner store that's open 4 hours a day or some shit. You know, I found it inconvenient being in places like that when I was there and I didn't know the area. But if you lived there, it'd be like, yeah, that's all we need. It's not that I don't like, you know, the en masse of people. I like people I can have a conversation with just fine, which is when there's a lot of them, because having a conversation with someone, it's kind of self-selecting. And most people, if they choose to have a conversation about something that they do that's interesting, it's totally worth having. If I could concentrate all those people, I'd live in a city full of those guys, like a new Sparta. That'd be cool. Yeah. Oh shit! I'm sorry you got really punched in the face. Where did you have to chuck him out of? That's got to be a pub or a restaurant. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's a crappy posting for a security guard. Yeah, I shall take that as a lesson. Never to ever do retail security. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Facing the public is the most thankless thing, though. Yeah, never do that. Be unemployed rather than do that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do football matches. It must be an absolute frigging live nightmare, and there's no way you can get paid enough for it. Even a concert, it's a super thankless thing. Is that me? No, I'm not. I'm not getting particularly tired. I can go on for a little bit. We might end the stream and just chat in the Discord because that's what we're doing really. If I had shot some video, it would be, up here, and I'd preview it, and chat in between, or preview other people's videos. If you want to do a video on a thing, do send it in, and we'll just all have a group watch of it. That'd be cool in a kind of we made television type way. But yeah, I mean, I was up early, but I'm not super tired. But we might as well all chat in the Discord at this point. It must be get grating on everybody hearing only my voice and trying to read the conversations. I can do. I can. It's running. It's just got into like some cool conversation. Would you like to do that? Woo! Let's see. It should fix itself. Oh, do do do. I've got to move this, and I got to fire up Half Life now. Hold on. So that should appear. Got to start the voxel shaders again. What's that going to do? That's going to take out the chat from the thing. So I can't see the chat. Hold on. I can put it down here and do this. Is it clashing with the windows? Hold on. Otherwise I can't read it. I can put it there. Hold on. And that's taking the chat away though. No, chat's there. I can do that. Hey, okay. But it's there. I could do that. Where were we? Oh, oh, I think we might be locked in this slight loop. Nope. Okay, hold on. Oh, game. Oh, I remember now. Okay. I think I remember now. Hold on. Oh, I might still die. Oh, I still died. So I really fucked up playing this game. Oh, oh, I accidentally shot the dude. Uh, now I'm going to have to load this game. And, what was I? Yeah, fuck that. We're not going that way. Not using that. Well, oh, if I, uh, oh, oh, I'm going to die. Oh, okay. Let's try playing this, and pay attention. So we need to go down and get the health pack that's down there. Come and talk to him. Yeah. Okay. Save game, so you don't have to do all that again. These two crates. Yeah. Can't remember how many thingies we're down. I know. Why couldn't you kill both of them, you idiot? Alright. Now we have to not die. You're going to love this, everybody. There's ammunition here, but no health, which is annoying. And this is where we were. Push this block. Oh, push the block. Yeah, you're not allowed to eat that particular cotton candy.